molecules. They are commonly called as the cyclic compounds. Now when I am talking about the cyclic compounds, you will find that they are further categorized into homocyclic or carbocyclic and heterocyclic compounds. We will first study about the homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds. As I told you, homocyclic compounds means, homo means which contains same type of atoms. Basically they are carbon atoms in their rings or in their structures. They are called as the homocyclic compounds. Now homocyclic compound is further divided into alicyclic and aromatic. And when I am talking about the alicyclic compounds are such type of compounds which mostly resemble the aliphatic compounds. As I told you, aliphatic means in olden times the aliphatic compounds were mostly called as what? The aliphatic compounds were mostly called as such type of compounds which are obtained from the fats of animals and vegetables. Now we will study about the alicyclic compound. As you can see, this is cyclopropane, CH2, 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 and it gives you this like structure. And if you have this structure, then this becomes cyclobutane. Like that way, we have so many structures. We have what you rightly call as pentane, we have cyclohexane, etc., etc. The cyclic structure. Now we will talk about the next is the aromatic compounds. Next, what we talk about is the aromatic compounds. And what are aromatic compounds? The word aromatic comes from aroma, which means khushbu, the fragrance. When I am talking about the aromatic compounds, you must remember that aromatic compounds, they are type of cyclic saturated compounds. They are the type of cyclic saturated compounds. Basically, these are the unsaturated compounds. If you will see to them, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया था कि कार्बोसाइक्लिक कंपाउंड्स ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री जब चालू हुई, डिस्कवर हुई, तो उसके थोड़े दिन बाद ही ये डिस्कवर हुआ. And those substances which have pleasant smell, they were commonly called as the aromatic compounds. Carbocyclic compounds, they are further divided into two categories. If you see, जैसा मैंने आपको शुरू में ही बताया था, all the aromatic compounds or the carbocyclic aromatic compounds, they are further divided into, if you will see, benzenoid. One is benzenoid aromatic compound and another one is non-benzenoid aromatic compound. Clear? We will first study about the benzenoid aromatic compound. What are benzenoid aromatic compounds? Such type of compounds which contains benzene ring in two forms, either fused or isolated. उनमें benzene ring anyhow present रहेगा, या तो combined state में, fused state में रहेगा, या बिल्कुल अलग-अलग रहेगा. तो first is benzenoid aromatic compounds. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि it can be of various types. It can be monocyclic, it can be bicyclic, it can be tricyclic, or etc. etc. सबसे पहले हम इसमें monocyclic aromatic compound देखेंगे. We will first study about the monocyclic aromatic compound. If you see monocyclic aromatic compound, benzene itself is a monocyclic aromatic compound. As you all know, what is this? This is what you rightly call as the benzene. In case when this benzene has CH3 here, this is commonly called as toluene. Clear? जैसा मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया, if it has NO2, the derivative, if it has NO2, then it is nitrobenzene. If it has OH, ये याद रखेंगे ना सब लोग? If it has NO2, then it is nitrobenzene. If it is OH, then it is phenol. It is phenol. Clear? In case if it has NH2, then this is aniline. What it is? Aniline. In case it has CHO, then it is exactly called as the benzaldehyde. If it is COOH, these are all the functional groups. If it is COH, then it is benzoic acid. Then it is commonly called as benzoic acid. These all are the monocyclic aromatic carbocyclic compounds. We move on with bicyclic and tricyclic. Let us talk about the next category. This was monocyclic. Next we move on with bicyclic and tricyclic aromatic compound. You will find in bicyclic and tricyclic aromatic compound the benzene ring, they very oftenly they get fused with each other, है ना? As we have studied it, जैसे मैंने आपको suppose ये structure दिया, if you know this structure, we all know this structure. What you have is, and you have this. Then this is what you commonly call as naphthalene, because you have two benzene rings fused together. So that is why this is commonly called as naphthalene. Clear? In the same way, if three rings are associated with each other, then that becomes anthracene. That becomes, if you have one more ring associated with this, then what you have is what you rightly call as the anthracene. These are all the bicyclic compounds. And you will find that the benzene ring, they are fused with each other. What mostly? The benzene ring, they are fused with each other. Clear? And very often the compounds in which the benzene, two or more than two benzene rings, when they are fused with each other, it is also known as polycyclic aromatic compound. It is also known as the polycyclic aromatic compound. Clear? अच्छा, बेंजीन रिंग आइसोलेटेड भी हो सकते हैं, नॉट नेसेसरी फ्यूज्ड हो. जैसा मैंने बताया था, दे बोथ आर बेंजोनॉइड एरोमेटिक मींस फ्यूज्ड और आइसोलेटेड. So you can see the benzene ring, they can be isolated also. In what way they can be isolated? As we have studied about this structure previously also. You know this? What it is? It is biphenyl. Clear? Biphenyl or diphenyl. It can be called as both biphenyl or diphenyl. So these were all the benzenoid, aromatic compounds. Next we will talk about the non-benzenoid aromatic compounds which do not contain a benzene ring. Non-benzenoid aromatic compound means what? Which do not contain a benzene ring, but they contain highly unsaturated ring. What do they contain? Other highly unsaturated ring that comes under the category of non-benzenoid aromatic compound. Like you people have studied about so many structures like cyclopropenyl cation. If you are doing like this, and this is what? This is cyclopropenyl cation. Clear? In the same way, cyclopentadienyl anion, etc., etc. These are all the non-benzenoid substances, compounds. We talk about the next category. After looking into the homocyclic, we will next talk about the heterocyclic compounds. These were all the homocyclic. Next we will see the heterocyclic compounds. Now when I am talking about the heterocyclic compounds, let us first of all find out what are heteroatoms. When I am talking about the heterocyclic compound, let us first talk about the heteroatoms. What are heteroatoms? Compounds, mostly in organic chemistry we have carbon and hydrogen. Compounds which contain other than carbon and hydrogen, like oxygen, like sulfur, like nitrogen, these are commonly called as heteroatoms. इनको हम लोग हेटेरोएटम्स बोलते हैं, जिनमें कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन के अलावा भी कुछ और एलिमेंट्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं उनके कंपाउंड्स में. दीज आर कॉमनली कॉल्ड एज हेटेरोएटम्स. तो आइए जानते हैं इनके बारे में. हेटेरोएटम्स क्या है? इनके रिंग्स में कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन के अलावा भी दूसरे सब्सटेंसेस हो सकते हैं. दे आर ऑल्सो कैटेगराइज्ड इनटू टू कैटेगरीज, एलिसाइक्लिक हेटेरोसाइक्लिक कंपाउंड्स एंड एरोमेटिक. One is alicyclic heterocyclic compound and another one is aromatic heterocyclic compounds. As you can see, alicyclic compounds which contains one or more heteroatoms. इनके रिंग में कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन के अलावा you will find that they contain one or more heteroatoms. For example, if I draw like this, you all may be familiar about it. What is this?
Oxirane.
This is oxirane. Clear? है ना? This is commonly called as oxidane. If in case apart from this, if I draw like this, you must note it down very fastly. If I draw it like this, what is this? This is oxidane. This is oxidane. Why these all are heterocyclic compounds? You can see, इसके साथ में कार्बन हाइड्रोजन तो है. Can you see this? Yes. It contains in its framework carbon and hydrogen, but apart from carbon and hydrogen, it contains oxygen also. And that is why this is called as heterocyclic or alicyclic heterocyclic compounds. Clear? And heteroatoms are present in it. Along with this, we now move on to the aromatic heterocyclic compounds, which contains one or more heteroatoms in their molecules. What do they contain? They contain one or more heteroatom. इसमें और इसमें difference क्या है? Heteroatom is present in rings. Clear? But here the heteroatom is present in their molecules. The heteroatom is present in their molecules. So that is why, as you can see, you know this structure. I hope पहले भी पढ़ाया था मैंने. You all know this structure. It is furan. Clear? What it is? This is commonly called as the furan. In the same way, we will study about these structures only right now. In the same way, if you know this structure, this is pyrrole. है ना? What it is? This is pyrrole. In the same way, if you study this structure, this is thiophene. You must note it down. This is thiophene. Am I right? Clear? In the same way, we all are familiar. 12th में तो हमको इसका use जगह जगह होना है. We all know it very well. This is commonly called as pyrene.